DC hospitals treat hundreds of trauma victims each and every year. Time and blood loss can mean life or death. So DC Fire and EMS are kicking off a new program next month. They're going to bring blood bags to scenes and do transfusions right from the ambulance. Jess Arnold got a one-on-one demo of how this is going to work, and Jess joins us now live from Northwest. And Jess, it really is interesting that they weren't doing this before.
Right, that's because typically they'd have to wait to the hospital for a patient to receive a transfusion, and then on the way, paramedics in these ambulances would either pack the wound, put pressure on it, use a tourniquet, but that doesn't replace that extreme amount of blood loss. You can see that ambulance heading to a scene right now that just passed behind me. So they are hoping that adding these blood bags as a toolkit inside of that ambulance is going to end up saving lives.
When paramedics receive a trauma patient, every second counts.
Your outcome when you are bleeding is often determined by traffic and congestion, and you can hemorrhage to death in minutes.
Assistant Medical Director for DC Fire EMS, Dr. David Wittberg, says to remove that variable, they're adding blood bags to their toolkit.
Everything that you need for the blood transfusion procedure is at your fingertips, and so what we're doing with whole blood is bringing this very time-sensitive therapy to the patient's side with the expectation that we're going to save lives by initiating blood transfusion where we find the patient and not waiting for them to get to the hospital.
They'll all be type O, the universal donor.
Once we start squeezing this and infusing blood, we can transfuse a patient an entire unit of whole blood within about 2 minutes.
It's a partnership with GW Hospital and the Red Cross, the latter of which has been sounding the alarm about a blood shortage for years.
Usually you want to see 5 days worth of blood on the shelves, and it's at the point where it's about a day or less.
Executive Director for the DC Area Red Cross, Erwin Steerley, says as long as they meticulously manage the supply, there should be enough blood flowing into the initiative. DC's EMS team will keep it safe in special coolers.
We actually have temperature sensors in those coolers that every 30 seconds broadcast temperature data from that compartment.
Dr. Wittberg anticipates helping upwards of 400 patients with these transfusions.
But at the end of the day, we have to replace the blood that you've lost. And so bringing this, this really battle-tested therapy to the front lines, to the point where people are injured, outcomes improve.
Now, you heard Dr. Wittberg say that this is battle tested. He said that they reviewed data, particularly from New Orleans program. They'd been doing it for a few years, and it showed that it really does save lives. So he said starting in mid-February, they're going to have about upwards of 30 people that are trained in how to do these in-transit transfusions, ready to add this to their toolkit. Now, we also were talking about this blood shortage that has been, in effect in a crisis for years now. So after talking to the Red Cross, I actually was inspired to make an appointment myself. That's what they need all of you to do. So I'm going to be donating blood next week. I challenge you to join me in doing that and let me know when you did. Allison.
Alrighty, and I am that universal blood type. Jess, thank you so much.